Well, good morning from Northern Quebec, people. Oh, probably wondering why the heck am I in Quebec right now? Well, fun fact with being on this aircraft, the Dash 7, we often have contracts that are going to take, or that can take us all over Canada. In this case, we have one that's going to be ferrying people from Val d'Or up to a northern place called Kuujjuaq, which I'll show you on the map here. So we've got Val d'Or down here, Kuujjuaq is up here, and as you can see, we're about 3 hours, 8 minutes en route for this whole fun shindig. And what makes this an extra fun trip is you can see what kind of weather we've got en route here. Lots and lots of weather forecasted en route for us with this one. Lots of potential for thunderstorms, potential for low ceilings once we get into Kuujjuaq. So it's going to be a very busy flight for us, especially with the Dash 7, where unlike most other large aircraft, we can't get up especially high with the airplane. There's a lot of things it does very, very good. But high and fast are the two things that we don't do very good, which are the two most useful things for a trip like this, unfortunately. It's not that we can't make this trip happen, but it does mean that where most other aircraft would typically climb up higher or then route more easily around the storms if they're not super extensive. In our case, it effectively means that we're going to be just going off the weather radar and hoping we can find a hole in between stuff and punching our way through it. And it looks like it's going to be for a good chunk of the trip for us. So it's going to be a very, very long day. Thankfully, we only have just the one trip that we have to do. So once we land, we just get the airplane parked, get people off the airplane, and get to our hotel for the night, and then get ready to do the rest of the work the following day. So the upside for you guys is most likely I'll have some decent footage for that once we get the GoPro going on that. So I will hopefully have something posted here with you guys. Well, I guess if you wind up seeing this, you'll know for a fact I had something posted. And we'll catch up with you guys once we're in Kuujjuaq. Well, here we are back in Yellowknife. Well, right in time for the dog to start barking. Yeah, I meant to actually finish off this a bit sooner, but I wound up getting ridiculously busy as far as getting into, or once I got back into Yellowknife from doing the Val-d'Or stuff. Pretty much I was only like a couple days of downtime and then was back to going flat out for, oof, it was about 9 days. There was only like one day off in between with things kind of getting shuffled around, all sorts of weird, just to make a bunch of other new contracts that work. As far as the Val-d'Or trip went for the rest of it, it was actually not too bad. We were only supposed to do one actual day of flying once we were in Val-d'Or to get to get our clients up to one other location, then come back. However, what wound up happening with that was the weather crapped out at the place that we were going to, and it was a situation where normally we would have flown in there, and then after flying in, we would have just simply held there, staying in a day room until we could come back, so they could do a split duty day for us. But they weren't able to get day rooms sorted out for us, so it was planned that we were going to fly them out in the morning, come back to Val-d'Or, kick around Val-d'Or for a few hours, and then go back out and pick them up in the evening. And unfortunately, with the way the weather was, we were pretty much in the situation of, well, we can get you guys to where you're going, but we can't guarantee that we're going to get you back. So the client actually pulled the plug on that, and because the client had basically nothing else, or had other plans for every other day, we didn't wind up doing the flight on a different day. Typically for our operations, if we wind up like having to hold a flight or reschedule a flight or cancel a flight because of weather, usually we will try again to get a flight, or to get the flight on another day, which is one of the perks of when it's a charter versus a scheduled service. It's not like Air Canada where, you know, suddenly your flight doesn't happen and you're left high and dry to figure something out. Well, I guess with the way the new regulations are hitting now, that's kind of changed up, but still, you get the idea. So, suffice to say, got back into Yellowknife and was, like I said, going flat out pretty much. The nice thing is that now I'm fully signed off with the Dash 7. All the line checks and everything are done, so I don't have anything to do in that regard until my 6 months come up to renew that. In the meantime, though, I do get to do a whole bunch of extra work. I'm actually leaving bright and early tomorrow morning to head down to Ontario for 2 weeks of some fairly intense work that's going to be going on out there. They're going to be pretty much 12-hour days for 6 days in a row, with one day off, and then another 6 days, and then come back to Yellowknife with a few days off before hitting the ground running up here. It's been a lot busier with this machine compared to with the King Air and the Medevac side of things. The upside is that it makes things nice and easy, makes it good as far as for building logbook time, but doesn't leave a lot of free time necessarily for other things, at least for the time being. Once we get a few more people online with the machine, it's going to get easier. We are going to have more crews. We'll have an easier time with that, though. The way it's looking, it's also going to be a lot more work for us. We're seeing a lot of interest with the Dash 7 and other places, but for you guys, that means I get to shoot some better videos of some interesting places to fly into, and maybe even get you guys some ideas of what it looks like when we're actually loading this thing. So right now, I'm going to be taking the camera with me and hoping that I'll be able to get some good shots and everything for you guys while I'm in Ontario. I don't know how much commentary there's going to be with it. The stuff I've got for traveling with is not really able to do much in the way of editing, and really the internet there sucks so bad I wouldn't try to upload it anyways. But hopefully I'll have some stuff that I can share with you guys when I get back from that. But yeah, it's been good so far. It's a awesome machine to fly, and hopefully I'll get to do some stuff to show off a little more with it. We'll probably do some time to walk around with it at some point and talk a little more about the machine and how it performs and the areas where where it really shines. But yeah, in the meantime, I need to go and get my life put together and ready to go for this trip. So we'll see you guys on the next video.